This conference will now be recorded.
All right, friends. So after a long time, we are having a session to close whatever the pending topics are there. Uh, I do remember we have done a lot of work on the understanding the Dockers, as well as we have spent a lot of time on the Kubernetes. We are almost towards the end of this training program, but the topics which are there, which are really, really important topics. So make sure that everybody just concentrate on this one. Will also discuss today about the cluster. We'll try to upgrade the cluster. Upgradation is a question which comes in the examination too. And some other couple of topics like how to take the backup as well as ETCD backup that we'll see. So my first topic, today's topic is high availability cluster, how to create that and how it is maintained. A lot of things are there. We will discuss about it and slowly we'll move ahead. So normally when we say something about that cluster, always one thing comes in our mind that I have a worker nodes, right? Plenty of worker nodes are there. But what if any worker node has failed? What will happen? We have another worker node which will take care of it, or maybe all the load which is there on the worker node will get shipped to the another worker node. So precisely what is the job of the worker nodes, guys? The job of the worker node is to hold the, this is my worker 2, and the job of the worker 1 and worker 2 or any number of workers uh, is to hold the application, right? Whatever the application we deploy with the help of container using a pods in the worker nodes, holding that application, holding that pod on the worker node and providing all the required networking, storage, or all other things which are required, security parameters, everything which is required is given by that worker node. So we can have multiple worker nodes, guys. So there is one documentation I have prepared. We will be discussing about that sometime later, or what is the sizing, how to calculate the sizing of the any worker nodes. Uh, so there is one small stuff is there. Let me just show you if I can explain you that right away. Or okay, so how to determine the sizing or sizing consideration and calculations for the pods or worker nodes. So normally in the production environment, this sizing is considered, guys. So I have worker nodes, but how many worker nodes should be there? How many worker nodes should be considered for deployment or while creating a cluster? So basically, normally it is considered that how many nodes we can have per cluster. We can have 5,000 nodes per cluster. So this is the maximum limit you can consider. How many pods per cluster? We can have 1,50,000 pods per cluster. But in the production, how many pods we should think about deploying per node? Now it depends now. So ideally it is considered to be 100 pods per node. Okay, this is some benchmarking is there. Okay, so this is to be considered as a safer one, right? If you have a intermediate load, so that load will be taken by this particular worker nodes if you have a 100 pods per node. And how many containers we can have in an entire cluster? You can say that there are almost 300,000 containers we can have. And how many recommended pods per core? This is also important. So you can have pods per core, 10 pods per core. So this is the sizing that we need to consider for the standard calculation. And there are certain formulas are also there. How should you calculate the number of pods per cluster or maximum pods per cluster? It is divided by expected pods per node, and it will give the total number of nodes required. It is simple mathematical calculation. It is not a difficult formula also, right? how to calculate the total number of nodes required for your cluster. So you'll see that, look, I need to deploy almost there are 5 applications, and these 5 applications, there are 2,200 pods are there, right? And approximately there will be 2,200 pods like this one. 2,200 pods will be there, and expected pods per node. If you determine that, look, I want to deploy the pods per node is equal to 250. Example, ideally it is considered to be 100, but let's say that you decided that I would like to go for the 250 pods per worker node, then how many such nodes will be required? So it comes around 8.8 to 9. So you can consider to be 9 worker nodes will be required. So additionally, you can add a couple of more worker nodes so that 10 to 11 worker nodes can be there for it, right? So another example I have taken, that if you think that total number of nodes you have is 20 and maximum pods per cluster are 2200, how many pods per node are expected? This is 110. So guys, this is the formula that we need to use to calculate the number of works by considering these. This is the maximum limit. The following table provides the maximum supported limits for nodes and pods, right, per cluster, right? And if you want to calculate something, you can use this formula for calculation. So it is very important, right? Now, this is something for the determining the sizing for cluster, that is computing resources, right? How many workers nodes you need it. But how you'll calculate the networking? How much, what kind of networking is required for your cluster? How you'll calculate that stuff? That is also very important, guys. So you have to think about the CIDR's definition. Let's say that uh, there are a couple of things that you need to think about. That let's say that I have a 300 300,000, you can write 300 hundreds or thousands, right? 300,000 pods to be deployed in cluster. So if you want to deploy such a big amount of the pods inside the cluster, what kind of CIDR you will consider? What network subnet you will use? You may use /12, you may use, if you are using a /16, it will give you a 65,536. If you are using a /12 network, then you have to consider about, it will provide you this much amount of the IP addresses. So while calculating when we bootstrap the Kubernetes cluster by using kubeadmin init command, that time we give the CIDR, pod network CIDR. That time it is very important that you need to specify how big network you would like to consider while creating this cluster. Okay, so this is something about the networking, guys. Everybody is aware about that, how to calculate network address mask, these bits, right? If somebody asks you simple question, guys, that if I have a /10 network, so if I say /10 network, that's, let's say this is my 10 network, 10.0.0.0/10. What is the meaning of this one? The meaning is that 2 raised to 22 minus 2. Okay, if this is, because it is total 32, right? 32 bits are there, correct? And so 2 raised to 22 is nothing but it is a big value, right? And minus 2, so it is a starting number minus ending number, ending IP address, that is a broadcast IP address. So that is the way we can calculate the total number of ports required. Okay, so the total number of IP required, guys, and this will definitely make uh, this particular calculation will help you to understand that how many IP addresses can be used or created with the help of this /10 network. Sapan Kumar, you this is as I told you yesterday. Right now you are in the Docker sessions, and this session is going for some other batch, I hope that you got that message. And we are discussing about the capacity planning for the cluster, Kubernetes cluster. So if you want to attend this one, you can attend it, but there is a something called as a lot of, there will be some time for you to understand this concept, but you can attend the session, not an issue. But right now you are in the Docker session, and this batch is towards ending of their sessions. Okay, I hope that you will consider that. Thank you. All right. So what I was discussing, we have discussed 2 points till now. Uh, one point is the how to calculate total number of worker nodes. This is one thing we have discussed. And second, please mute, guys. And second thing is that how to calculate total number of IP addresses. Can you mute, Nijo? Yeah. Okay, total number of IP addresses, that is called as the network sizing. And also we have discussed about how to calculate the total number of pods. So depending on the pods, if you know that how many pods will be there in your cluster, you can determine the number of worker nodes required. You can do the auto scaling. You can put that auto scaling and everything set up in the uh, cluster, so that whenever there are more number of pods are coming, you can do the auto scaling. But important thing is that when you are starting the cluster, and you should have some dotted line information in your mind that how many workers should go with. So for that purpose, it is essential to know total number of pods required. So depending on that, you can calculate. So if you know that these many number of pods will be there, so from that you can find out what kind of networking will be required. So what big network should be available so that it will accommodate all the pods, right? So you need to calculate the total number of IP addresses required as well by using a subnetting. That's the IDR format. So these two things are uh, discussed for the network sizing as well as sizing of the worker nodes, right? And now, so you can discuss about the more about the DNS services and everything for the pods, which is available in this particular reference document I have given. So this document, I think it will be uploaded very soon. I don't know whether it is uploaded or not, but it will be definitely uploaded if it is not there. Then it is very essential to find out the load balancing and pod distribution scheme as well. So we'll be discussing about this, but before that, let me just discuss about the how the high availability is achieved with the help of master nodes rather than that, and worker nodes. So consider that now you have a worker node, master node here. We have discussed about how many worker nodes will be required and how to calculate them. But how will calculate that how many master nodes are required? So specifically, one master node can do a lot of work for you guys, right? It is capable enough because we don't do the we don't deploy the application pods over there. Actually, all the application pods or load is there on the worker nodes and not on the master. So what are the components of the master node as we discussed in the first session of the Kubernetes? Like it has API server. Okay, it is very important, right? If you think about that, if API server is not there in the master node, what will happen? Nobody will be able to communicate with the cluster. Neither any worker node will be able to communicate with the cluster, or not external entity will be able to communicate to the cluster. So API server is important. Another important factor is that we have controllers, right guys? So controllers are something that which need to be what is the job of the controllers? There is a kube controller parameter component which is available on the master node. What is the job of this one? The job of the controller is to maintain the replicas and creating a deployments, and a lot of things are there. All kinds of the kinds are controlled by the control manager. Then we have another important entity that is called as ETCD. Yeah, right. ETCD. This is important, right? What will happen if there is no ETCD in the master node? Oh my God, right? So, if somebody has misplaced this one, your cluster will not function properly, guys. It will create a problem. You will not be able to deploy new things. You will not be able to scale up. You will not be able to downscale the application, right? So a lot of things will be there. A lot of parameters will be affected. So ETCD is a very, very important component, okay? And it needs to be protected properly. So if somebody asks you that I want to take a backup of the cluster, what backup you would like to take? Apart from the data of the application, what backup you would like to take? The important is ETCD. If you have ETCD backup, and if you have the, let's say, certificate information available, okay, certificates can be regenerated, guys, but if you have ETCD, the backup is there, you don't have to worry about the cluster. You can regenerate the cluster and you can restore that cluster. So I will be showing you today that how we can restore it back. Also, we require a very important component, and that is called as another component, and that is called as scheduler. This is also one more component which is available in the master node. Now, I want to take a back. So this is something which is there available on the master node. And apart from other things are also there, like kubelet is there, kubedm there is, kubectl is there, all other processes are there. View network is there, that is CNI is there. Now, point here is that what will happen if my master node goes down? Consider the scenario, guys, that there are 10 pods running here. This is one pod, and there are total 10 pods are running on this worker nodes. Right now, they are serving to the request of the customers. And suddenly your master node goes down. What will happen to the application which is running over here? Will they also go down? No, they will not, right? They will not go down, right?
Yes.
They will be running as it is. Where is my
But we will
diagram
not
gone?
be able to communicate.
Yeah, they will not be able to communicate. Yes, we will not be able to communicate with that. Right? Correct, absolutely. 1 second, let me just, yeah.
But
So
the data plane will be working, right?
yeah, data plane will be working, but without master, right? So you will not be that application will serve, that pods will
Yeah.
serve the request coming from the cluster, but there will be problem, right? But future actions cannot be performed. So if any deployment goes down or desired state is, if any pod is getting terminated, API server is not there, so you'll not be able to maintain the desired state, because in the master you have a controllers like replica sets and everything. So guys, what we need to do to take care of this one, if such scenario is happening,
ഇതെവിടെ
I request you all to please mute yourself.
Please unmute.
Yeah, okay. So now I need a multiple master nodes. So I can create multiple master nodes, guys, right? How do I do that? Just take one more virtual machine. This is my another master node. Let me take another virtual server machine. Okay, so I can have multiple master nodes, guys, but how many I can have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many? So ideally, it should be odd number, right? It is always better to have an odd number for the proper decision making. So odd numbers are expected. So I can have, this is my master 1, this is my master 2, this is my master 3. So let me draw this master nodes little bit like this one. This is my master 1, this is my master 2, and this is my master. Okay, so this is my another master node, right? Okay, cool. And now if you are thinking about that, I want to keep these master nodes in the different locations, in the different data center, it is your call. You can do that one. There is no problem. It is possible. For the physical, if something goes wrong with at one location, okay, one physical location, one geographical location where your master nodes are there, and something goes wrong with that data center, you don't want to take a risk, right? And that is the reason you can have something like you can keep this particular servers at the different location base, right? So what you can do here, but let's say that I have a 3 master nodes, or let's say that I have 5 master nodes. Do not keep more master nodes, guys. That is not also good, because a lot of computation and a lot of calculations goes, a lot of calls happen between the master nodes. What are these calls? I'll tell you. So how to distribute this? Let's say that I would like to now deploy one pod. I have 3 master nodes. So how the call flow will happen here in the master nodes? I have API server here also.
Ramesh, before proceeding, can you can you let us know why we need the odd number? Why? I mean, what is the advantage of having the odd number of master nodes?
Yeah, odd number of master nodes are required for electing the right leader. If you have an equal amount of participants or voter, then it becomes difficult. Okay, so I have a 2 API servers. Let's say I have 2 master servers and there are 2, or I have 2 controllers here, or I have 2 ETCDs. Okay, then re-election or electing a right node or right component becomes difficult task, and that is the reason we need a odd number of the master nodes. I hope that that is clear now.
Ramesh,
Okay.
why? Because it's confusing for me because for two number of two master nodes there will be also be election, and if the number is odd, then there will be also election.
Okay, we'll discuss about that. Just wait for some time.
Okay,
I will
okay,
explain that. Yeah. Now think about this one, guys. That if I have 3 master nodes are there here, and I want to deploy one pod there, I want to deploy the application. How the call flow will happen? Which API server will come into picture? What is your thought process? What should I add so that the application will be given to this API server, or this API server, or this API server? Where it will go? I have 3 master nodes now.
So, Ramesh, is the class going on this Sunday also?
So I don't know. Suraj?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is for some other batches,
Oh,
right?
not for us, not for us, CK.
No,
Oh, I
no,
thought.
no. That is what I explained, and you might have got the message also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to attend, you can mute yourself and you can attend the class, not an issue. Okay, fine. Thank you, Suraj. So how do I do that, right? So basically, first and important thing is that uh, as like earlier one where we had a bare metal machines and there was active component, there was a passive component in the cluster. In the Kubernetes, master nodes are not behaved like that one. They are not as active or passive component. Do you remember earlier days that, guys, what comes in our mind when we say cluster? I have one, this is my, let's say, server one. This is very important server, and I have another server. So this is important. There is an important application. So to avoid if something goes wrong with the this hardware, what we used to do, we used to bring one more server there, similar kind of hardware, and the data is stored on this particular storage, and the storage is made visible on the these servers, both servers, right? And there is a heartbeat going on here. Heartbeats are nothing but what? This is my active server, this is my passive server, and passive server will always try to ping to the active server saying that are you there, are you there? So the moment the passive server says passive server sends the request, active server used to respond back to the passive server saying that yes, I am there. So if we used to define certain time, let's say in the 10 second of time, if the active server is not responding, then what will happen? This second server, S2 server, will take the leadership and it will start the application from that one. So it will consider that this node has gone down. So this is active passive component, and this is nothing but a cluster. So we used to say it is my cluster, right, guys? But nowadays we are talking about the so we are talking about this particular master node. These are the different. This may be a different machines, or maybe virtual machines or bare metal machines like this one. But there is no active passive component in the Kubernetes cluster. At the hardware level, at the virtual machine level, there is no active passive component. So what is there? So specifically for the API server, whenever I would like to deploy the master, I would like to deploy the application. So you can use the load balancer here. Okay, and load balancer will distribute, will have endpoints of this API server. If I have five master nodes, it will have 5 endpoints. So load balancer will have active endpoints backend as a 5 IP addresses of the API servers. And whenever I try to deploy something called as some application, okay, it will be given to the specific API server. Let's say this API server, it has been given. Okay, and then further actions will be taken. So here in the API server, there is no leader to be chosen. There is no clustering happens here in the API server concept. API server component of the Kubernetes cluster doesn't come under the leadership context, choosing the leadership for bringing the leader and others will become a slave. No, you can distribute the traffic. It will get distributed. Traffic will be distributed. Request will be distributed to all the API servers in the round robin fashion with the help of load balancer. Now, the moment it requests the API server gets the request from the user through the load balancer, then now this particular stuff like the controllers or schedulers and ETCD, they works in the different concept altogether. So how they behave, how they work in the high availability concept, how the high availability is maintained. API servers high availability is maintained like this one, by creating a multiple API servers and bringing the load balancer in front of it. But this controllers, ETCD and scheduler is not like that one. So how it is done then? Consider this is my scheduler. Okay, there are 3 schedulers in the 3 master nodes. So which one is the leader now? Now here there should be some scheduler, should be some pod. This is actually pod, right? This is some application. When I say controller, or when I say scheduler, or when I say this ETCD, this is the application. This is the pods, right, running in the your master nodes. Now the point here is that how to determine which one is the leader now. Here leadership calculation is done with the controllers, scheduler and ETCD. These 3 components are important. So let's say that there is a concept called as the quorum formation. The quorum formation is nothing but number of resources will be there from the all 3 components, right? And depending on who will have the more resources will become a leader. And depending on once the scheduler says that, or this scheduler says that, or this controller says that I am a leader, it will go and add the endpoint into this API server. Okay, as well as this will be added here. It will be added here because these are all the same thing, right? Now,
Ramesh, could you repeat that again, please, once?
which one? Okay,
Uh,
I'll just explain this. Don't worry about it. So controllers. So let's say that think about this controller section here only. We have 3 controllers, but out of these 3, any one will be leader and 2 will be slaves. So how to determine who will take the leadership? So leadership is based on the quorum formation. So out of these three controllers, who will say that I am elected candidate from the, let's say, general politics, right? So those who are having a more votes, they will be saying that that person will be elected as a elected, right, as a leader. Here also the controller who has more number of votes will get elected, and the moment it gets elected, it will inform that API server, look, I am a leader of this one, please send the traffic to me. Now this leadership is calculated with the help of different algorithms. One of them is very nicely explained earlier also, that is called as a quorum. It is there since years, decades, right? What is the quorum formation? The component which has a more resources, or which will reach to that particular resources quickly, it has a more weightage, and the moment it has a more weightage, it becomes a leader. So out of this also, let's say that if you have a three nodes are there, and one worker node, one node has gone down, out of this S1 and S2 and S3, who will become a leader? So this will be the machine which has more resources, or which gets more voting, right? Which it will form the quorum, and it will become a leader, right? So similarly here also in the controller section, there are three controllers. Who gets more voting, okay, or more weightage, that will say that, oh look, I am a leader now. And the moment it is decided that this particular controller is leader, then it will immediately go into the API server, and it will inform to the API server, look, I am the leader, please add my IP address. That is nothing but endpoint, and that is the way API server will come to know that this control is now, I need to send the traffic to this controller. So if the request is coming from this load balancer to this API server, let's say that, but this controller is this controller may be your leader, so the traffic will be forwarded to this one, not to this one. Okay, so if this is your leader, if it has been elected, this controller has been elected as a leader, then traffic from this API server will be sent to this one. From this also it will be sent to this one, and from this also it will be sent to this one. Similarly for scheduler as well. If let's say that this scheduler has become a leader, API server may send a traffic to API, and you may this load balancer may send the traffic to this API server. But this API server will ask this scheduler to take a decision where to deploy the pods. It will not ask, and it will not ask this one. This will come into picture. The moment it says that I am a leader, the moment it says that I am a leader, it will add its endpoints inside the API server. And similarly for ETCD also, guys. But ETCD has one concept, right? The moment you said that this is master node, this is master or leader, okay, so this becomes a read and write copy, and this becomes your read copy. This is the replicas, and replicas are always read, and this is the example of distributed database, right? ETCD is the best example of the distributed database. So the component or the pod which is a leader, called as a leader in this cluster, right, will take all the information from the scheduler or from the API server or from any other component, and it will replicate the data inside other ETCD databases as well, right? And so after some time, let's say that, what is the time now? What is that time? After some time, I said that, let's say that this now is not a leader, and now this become leader. So this will become a master copy, it will become a read write, and all other will become a replicas of it. Later on, this may become a leader, this will become a master copy which will have a read and write permission, but this too will become a replicas. So in 3-node cluster or maybe 5-node cluster, there is no chances, there is a possibility that the traffic is coming to the master node number 1 on the API server. Control may be from the second node. Scheduler may be from the third one as a leader. And from the fourth, ETCD may be your leader. It can get distributed across the entire cluster. And that is the way high availability is maintained in the cluster, in these components. And hardware level high availability is maintained. In case something goes wrong with this hardware, we still have two master nodes. We have still two master nodes, and the traffic will be sent by this load balancer to this particular two master. Right? So the one more point I just want to explain you. These controllers or these schedulers or ETCD, these components which are there to maintain the high availability, they are the in charge for 15 seconds only. So this controller can be a leader for 15 seconds. After the 15 seconds, there will be re-election. And there is a possibility that this controller can get re-elected for next 15 seconds. Or there is a possibility that some other controller can be elected as a leader for the next 15 seconds of the time. I hope that you understood this, guys. And that is what this diagram also indicates. So we have master nodes, and this is the ETCD is a distributed database. You have API server. So there will be load balancer, and load balancer will distribute the traffic. You can have leader from the master node 1 for the controller manager. Scheduler may be from the leader from the second node. Okay, so that is the way it goes, guys. This is something about your master HA, right? And okay, I hope that, guys, you have understood that how the high availability is maintained in the at the master level, right? Master nodes level, between the physical nodes as well as between the software components such as API server, such as controller manager, such as scheduler and ETCD. Okay. Now, if you want to
Ramesh, one
choose the
quick
load
question.
balancer, yeah,
One
one
quick
second. Just
question.
let me just finish one sentence, then I will immediately come back to you. Let me just final question sentence, please. One load balancer of good quality can have 4 million transactions per second. One good load balancer can serve 4 million transactions per second. Okay, so now you can choose the load balancer also. Now, please go ahead and ask me questions. Sorry. Yeah, who was
So
asking
the
question?
API server, right? Is it like a common API server for all the three master nodes? How will it communicate? Or it's
No,
different?
it is different. There are three nodes, three models are there. Three API pods will be there.
Okay,
So
so
right now
how
we have
does it know
Mhm.
if it's like a different node adding the endpoints and other stuff, right? So how will it know it's from a different master node?
Yeah, no, that is a CNI job. CNI is there, which will take care of that.
Okay.
CNI provides the networking, and you can also find out by using endpoints. Endpoint list is there. If you see here, kubectl get endpoints from the kube system. I think you should be able to see some endpoints there. Can you see here? This is for the kube DNS. This is for a metric server. And let me see it for the overall. If you see here, this is my Kubernetes. This is the endpoint for the API server. So this is for API server. If I would have 3 or 5, let's say master nodes, I would have this 5 endpoints here. Okay, it will show that out of that, because this is API server, it will show for the load balancer, it will show the 5 endpoints for the API server. This is the endpoint for the API server. Right now I have only one, and that's why it is showing one. If you have 5, it will show 5. Okay.
Okay.
Ramesh, what is EP on that command? Stands for?
Endpoints and endpoints.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ramesh, question on this ETCD database. It is you said it is distributed, right? Means it is like a single database, like shared across the nodes, or is a
These 3 copies will be there.
how the database will be in sync? Yeah, ETCD database will be in sync
Yes,
on all 3
but
nodes.
yeah, no, yeah, of course. But let's say that if right now some transaction is coming or somebody sending a manifest file for creating a pod, the whoever is a leader or master, the information will be sent to that master node. The transaction details will be stored in that database, and then it will be replicated to the replicas.
How the sync happens in the on the database level? We have any other? I mean, do we have any?
So that no, that is completely etcd nodes algorithm is there, which is used to, it automatically gets done that one. When we join, let's say this is my master node, so and I want to join 5 of let's say 2 more master nodes to that. So we will get one join command, and when we join the command, all 3 master nodes will come together, okay, and then they will have a sync up here.
Okay, we don't need to explicitly do anything. After the joining takes care of the sync
Right.
process.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we don't have to do anything.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ramesh.
Ramesh, can I ask a question, or like you are going to the chat first?
Yes, yes, I am going to start. Sorry, Ramesh, I will take it.
No
Okay.
problem.
So pod will still continue to work only. Yes, correct. That was a question asked right earlier. Multiple master to be set up. Abhiram, it is very important from the designing perspective that what master node should be per zone or per region. So if there is a single point of failure in the node, let's say that if you are saying what is the meaning of region and zone now? Region is nothing but from the AWS perspective, it is a location where data centers are there,
Correct.
Okay, and what are the zones? Zones are nothing but in each data center there is a they have created high availability zones, right? High availability is maintained. So from the power perspective, from the network perspective, from the air condition perspective, right? They have different zones. Now region is nothing but at the same location, or maybe in some region, let's say 5 to 10 kilometers around that buildings will be there. But if you are thinking about zones we can consider, but if you are thinking about that, no, zones are okay, but what if my data center goes down at that location in the same region due to the natural calamity, something happened to that particular area? So your all the zones which are there inside one region will also get impacted, right? So it is not wise decision to keep your all master nodes in one region, right? At one region you can have the multiple master nodes in the different zones, but at least have a couple of master nodes at the different places, so that in case something goes wrong, they will take care of your applications.
So you're telling that design wise, having multiple region and multiple zone also, right? I mean, if a given region, multiple zone is fine, right?
Yes. In a region, if you are deploying in the multiple zones, that is fine, no problem. But if at all you want to have again some backup, right, from the data center or disaster recovery point of view, right, in that case we can have at the different region also.
Okay.
I hope that it makes some sense, right? Okay.
Ramesh, can I ask? It's just a continuation with Abhiram question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So just now you told that just want to check once again that if you're going for the high availability of master nodes, so it should be designed in terms of the region wise, not zone, right?
See, yes, basically I'll tell you one thing. when we say that this is one of the site is my main site and another is my disaster recovery site. Okay, in the production, if you see any time or every time, so normally people say that this is my main site data center and this is my disaster recovery. So in the case of, so what we used to do, we used to populate fully populated infrastructure is there in my main site, and there is a half populated infrastructure is available at the DR site. Okay, so sometimes in some application they have a fully populated also at the DR site. Why it is so? Because if something goes wrong in my this region, in this my city, okay, I have another city which is on the different seismic zone, as well as at the away from the at least let's say 100 kilometers or 200 kilometers away from that city, right? So if something goes wrong at this data center and this entire data center is down, I have another data center at different location which will take care of my application. So that time we have to think about the region wise. Okay, so but most of the time our downtime also happens in the same region also. So if this is my one of the data center, and in this data center, if I have one pod here, sorry, one master node is here in this zone, and in another zone I have another master node, there is a possibility that this master node go down. So when you are saying that this is my active side, you have to use the zones concept here. But for the disaster recovery purpose, it is essential to have the master nodes or your infrastructure placed in the different region also from the geographical location point of view.
So what I feel is like disaster recovery, anyhow, it's a part of the plan, right? But like if you're going for the high availability of master node, if suppose like if you're going for design, like if you're taking a region, like suppose now Ireland is one of the region, okay, and to have a proper HA for master node, I will go for one in North America and one maybe in Singapore somewhere, okay.
Correct, yes.
That's one thing. So like if you're going for Ireland as a region wise, yeah. So in that, suppose if we have a n number of AZ, like suppose like we have London, maybe something 4 5 states have been chosen. So in that we did not have to plan for the high availability of master node, correct?
Yes.
Because
you
that
don't have to
taken care by the zone wise, region wise. Sorry.
Right. But you should have the different couple of master nodes there also. So what you are saying,
permutation and combination then.
Yes.
There are two things, right? One is high availability and another is disaster recovery. We should not mix both. What you are talking is region wise. If I have multiple master, it's a DR, and if I have a zone wise, it is a HA. That's what it is concept. Correct.
So
right. And
we are going for zone wise region. I'm just confused with the region and zone.
No, wait. I'll just clear it. Can I have one? I have one. Listen carefully, guys. Don't get confused. Okay. This is my region called as Mumbai, and in the Mumbai region, I have 3 zones are there. What is the meaning of zone? Zone is nothing but they have isolated the rack wise. It is a rack wise isolation, so that single point of failure such as power failure or network failure, if it occurs, right, then I have the multiple zones are there and there are 3 master nodes are there, right? Let's say that there are 3 zones are there. What I did, I have one master node in the zone, another master node in the second zone, and another master node in the third zone. There will be fault tolerance, and guys, a lot of things are there. We don't think about that right now. Okay, so these are the 3 zones are there, and each zone I have kept the one master node. This is my main site, and this is my another region. Let's say, as you said, Ireland, right? And here also I can have the one master node in, and there are 2 zones inside this one. I can have one master node here. I can have this one master node here as well. So how many master nodes are there now? 5 master nodes are there, and all of them can be in the same cluster. So due to some reason, if something goes wrong with my this complete region itself, and the traffic is not going to that region because of some natural calamities, so that time this other two master nodes which are there in different region will take care of my application. So by doing this, we are achieving the high availability as well as disaster recovery.
Yeah, it's clear now. Yeah, thank you, Ramesh.
All right. Okay, let me take another question. Is storage treated as a worker node? No, no, no. Storage is not treated as a worker node. Abhiram?
So it's but again that hosted on a node, right? I mean if not worker node, but storage we put it in a node, right? No, is it a separate?
So yeah, storage comes from the your as a infrastructure point of view. If you are thinking from the region wise or something like that, if this consider that if your setup is on the cloud, so storage will come from the different devices, not from the worker nodes, master nodes. It will be applicable, it will be visible on the all the master nodes or all the worker nodes, right? But it is another entity which we can consider. We have to interface that storage with the storage class inside the all the nodes.
Oh, so I cannot consider as a worker node. Okay, got it. Makes sense. Okay.
No, it is a different thing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Endpoint of the LB also called as a VI. Yeah, we can say that, right? But endpoints, I'm saying, right? Abhiram, what is the endpoints? This is my load balancer, and there is a IP to this particular load balancer, and that is called as a VIP. And for this VIP, behind this VIP, how many IPs are there? Let's say 3, 4, 5. So these are my endpoints. So I have 5 master nodes. They are connected to this IP address of the load balancer, and that IP address is called as a VIP. So master nodes are, so behind this VIP, there will be 5 master IPs, and you can say it is the endpoints. Okay.
So the way I would think is like from a load balance perspective. So we are telling 5 IPs for the same this one. So each IP will have one endpoint. Like okay, say /user, say /marketing /R&D that could be a different endpoint, right? For R&D, there will be one master. For marketing.
Okay, that is, you're talking from the application point of view. I'm talking from the infrastructure point of view.
Okay.
Right. So yeah. So in my infrastructure, I have 5 master nodes and 100 worker nodes.
Correct. Okay.
So what I'm doing now, I am backing up the 5 API servers, 5 master nodes behind this load balancer IP address. So that becomes my that is a different infrastructure level. But if you have a different application, you have to have a different load balancer for that. This is API server.
So that's how does that endpoint differ from this endpoint? That's where I was confused, Ramesh. Sorry, man.
This is for the API. If you want to communicate with your 5 master nodes from the outside, to communicate them, you want to write some YAML file. The moment you fire a kubectl command from your jump server, it will be sent to the load balancer IP address. It will act as your API, main API server IP address, and behind that there will be 5 IP addresses of this master nodes.
Okay, so that will be IP address of a different master node. Okay, that becomes a endpoint for that. Okay, that's our endpoint.
Yeah.
There. Okay.
Yeah, that is actually it is called as API server endpoint. So normally API server is nothing but we use the IP address of the node only.
Okay, so that takes up. Okay, got it. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Now, yes, Venkatesh, you are absolutely correct. Quorum, weightage, the same concept is there. Okay, thank you, Nijo, for that. Normally, this situation doesn't come, Abhiram. Okay, the quorum formation, it is there now. Normally, this situation doesn't come. There will be there will be difference of a nanosecond. But if at all you feel that that kind of situation occurs, then I think then there will be situation, there will be issue. And that is the reason you should have odd number of master nodes.
But again, as a administrator, I don't have to care who is a leader, right? It's just that internally within the master
Right.
node, you're going to fight it, right? No?
Right. See, I don't know whether you remember it. In earlier days when I used to work on the cluster, there was a time that when something was happening, so every time this one server was coming up, another server is going down, trying to form the quorum. Quorum formation was a tough task, but it was once in a while that issue used to come, what you are triggering right now or pointing out. But normally, I have seen 99.999% this issue doesn't come.
Okay.
Otherwise, they will go into the loop for some time.
Okay, got it.
Because there is no algorithm which will, if there are same quorum is there. Okay, so at the cluster level, there is no algorithm which will become the leader if the quorum is same.
Okay, got it.
Because it cannot, nobody is there externally which will choose the master node. There is no round robin methodology. It has to be chosen from the inside of the algorithm.
So when you say quorum resource, means it's ultimately a CPU resource capacity, right? No?
Mostly it is taken hard disk level resources.
Hard disk level resource, is it a memory? Is it a OS or
memory is something different. Hard disk, I am saying. The hard disk which are present inside the server, normally that has been treated for that has been used to calculate the quorum formation. Normally.
Okay.
Okay, now good. Another question Abhiram has asked. Okay, cross traffic communication of API server to controller. Possible.
Yeah, basically you are telling, right? The API server can be leader here and the other control manager from a different node, right? So different node can be leader. So that's what I was thinking. That's a really interesting concept where I was thinking like once this guy is selected, that will be the whole people will be leader. But looks like you're telling API server of one node can be leader and controller can be other node. So if that cross communication happens, then I need to make sure that the node port or firewall clearance is there, because it may be in different region zone. So that part I need to take care of. I mean, when it comes to different master.
Basically, this is taken care by the CNI. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So because of the CNI, all pods can communicate with each other. Maybe they are from the master nodes or maybe they are from the application or worker nodes, but they will talk to each other. All right. So that is the CNI jobs.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope that now that is clear, right?
Yeah, that is clear. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Just extension to Abhiram question. Maybe like you might have explained, but just wanted to rethink over it. Like suppose like in this three master node, the second one is a master node. Okay, means like which is a leader. Okay, and leader depend upon the type of the component which have. It may be controller, manager, scheduler, and ETCD. Okay, and in the second master, thus we can see that it is a leader in terms of the scheduler. The star mark over is there, but maybe for HCD the leader might be first master. Maybe.
Okay.
So then how we can say which one is the leader now? Because it's depend upon the component level, or how actually we will mark the leader.
Node wise, it is not a leader. Hardware wise, it is not a leader.
Okay, so in this case, like just
component level.
Component level. Okay. So we have to say that, okay, the leader for controller manager, this is a leader, and for HCD master node 3 is a leader. Is it like that?
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Okay.
So Ramesh, in the same context, so how do we make sure, like during maintenance, I should not make sure leader does not any of that, because I mean, to me, I think complicated when you say that, like component wise leader, and it's like too many components.
One second, I'll tell you what is it. When you are doing maintenance activity, you will drain the master node. The moment you drain the master node, all the pods which are running on that will get evicted on the other right? And so anyway, so if you are marking, let's say, middle master node as a maintenance mode, you have to drain it. The moment you drain it, somebody else becomes a master node. somebody else some other component becomes a leader. That's it.
Oh, but in that case, see, if I have 3 masters, then it will become an even master, right? So you are telling even master we should not have it, right? So anytime, yeah, that was I was thinking, yeah.
Right, that algorithm will take care of it. I got your question, but
Okay,
normally this.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, any other question which I have not answered? Like
Yeah, Ramesh, just to extension of that question. So, like if you want to make any of the node down, so there is no choice, right? Like if you are making node the second one down, maybe the ETC of the third node is a master. So we have to choose any of the node and make it right, because we cannot judge now.
You want to say that when you want to mark
Yeah, for
any
maintenance, like maintenance, like how Biram
how
told,
to
like
decide how to decide which node to bring into the maintenance, right? That is your question.
Because which one to drain? Because I understand, like if you drain, the other will be not impacted. But yeah, what will be the choice for that?
No, there is no choice. You cannot do that one, because basically this any leader becomes for 15 seconds. So we can say that look.
Correct.
So there is a time given for the any pod to get deleted or terminated. Let's say 30 seconds of time we define. Delete with grace, gracefully delete it. So whatever the transaction is right now going, it will complete and then it will delete it. So that's the intent. Yeah.
Ramesh,
And
this is
Vivek, the point is like, then what is the use of master then? Who's the leader? It's difficult to find them.
No. Finding out the leader is from the endpoints. When you fire a command kubectl get endpoints, you will be able to find out which are the endpoints right now acting as a leader. That is there, right? But they are component wise. So even if you try to drain one node, there will be some component which will be leader from that one. So if that is the situation, then all master nodes, some of the components are leader over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is not going to impact at all.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah.
Ramesh, this is Vivek.
Yes. Tell me. Yeah. Somebody
I
was
have posted a question. I don't know whether you have a chance or I can
No,
ask
I'm
later
just
on.
taking the question one by one. I'm just taking the
Okay.
questions.
Yeah. Once you are there, then let me know.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Let me just take out the questions from the Abhiram's question I have answered. Yeah, I got it. Sonali was asking some question, right? Sonali, that where are the documentation that you shared on the screen and the commands also. Sonali, I'm not sure whether it is because it is a newer documentation which is available, which is created last week only. So if it is not uploaded on the portal, I will ask the Nijo or somebody to upload it today or tomorrow. Is that okay, Sonali?
Yes, Ramesh, if you can do that today, because I would be giving the exam probably in the May month or early June. That's why I wanted it earlier. Thank you.
Don't worry. We have the preparation class on the next Sunday, so you be there on that class.
Yes, I will be there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ramesh, you missed my question.
Anirban, I am on your question now. Can you please explain the quorum one, right? So do you have that question or something? Achha, before one I missed. Oh, I'm so sorry. Leader ETCD will be in read-write mode and others ETCD will be in read mode. Yes, correct, Anirban. So because it is a distributed masters kind of a stateful set, you can say that, right? So the same case can be here. It will become if it is a master node, it will have in the read-write mode. Others will be in the read mode only. That they are replicas.
Okay. Means for other leaders also the same concept.
Yes. The moment they become a leader, they will have the. Normally, see, a scheduler and controller manager is not which is going to write something there.
Yeah.
They have to write something in the database only. So this is important component.
Okay.
Is that okay, Anirban?
Yeah. But the quorum one, can you please, what's the meaning of this quorum?
Quorum is nothing but in general words. Let's say there are 100 people are there. They will vote for the 2 people or 3 people, and the person who will get a more votes, that will be selected as a leader. That is a general concept. So similarly, in the let's say you have three master nodes are there, and you all the resources such as disk or CPU or RAM, whatever the resources that algorithm has decided to form the quorum, so they will vote for the master nodes, and out of that they will decide, oh, this will be my leader. So that is nothing but a quorum.
But the leader selection happens, you told just earlier that it happens according to the component level, means at component level. And for that case, if scheduler means how the scheduler will be elected or any controller will be elected as a leader. According means if I consider as the resource base.
Right, I got your question. Perfectly got question. You whatever you are saying is absolutely correct. See, there is a specific algorithm written by the developer of the controller or scheduler. Okay, and as per that algorithm, um there is something called as raft analysis algorithm, or some algorithm is used for the scheduler to identify or elect the scheduler properly. So there is some other polling mechanism and pooling mechanism is there to find out that scheduler. I was giving the clarity, or trying to explaining on the basis of general discussion, that how the scheduler or how the any component will be decided as a leader. But if you go in the depth of this scheduler discussion and you want to find out that one, there is a very big discussion on that. The topic itself will become a one chapter, you can say.
Okay,
There are a
means
lot of
according to the,
algorithms are there.
yeah,
No.
means according
Yeah.
to the resource base, the election happens. If
Right.
I
So you can, it will decide which resources, right? That algorithm will decide which resources has to be taken.
okay.
Hmm. So I was trying to study this scheduler algorithm in detail, and I have seen there are a lot of pooling and polling mechanism is used to decide the uh, leader.
Okay. Ramesh, I have one more question. Should I ask now because I posted it later? Uh,
Yeah. Okay. Let's finish that one first of all, if you don't
okay.
mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. uh, how to know which one master is elected? Yeah, that is a question, Vivek. I think Ramesh was asked, right? Prajapati has asked this a little bit earlier. How to know which one master is elected? So, if you fire a command called as a kubectl get endpoints, okay, so it will show you the some endpoints over there. So, how many API servers? So in API server, it will show that. Let's say that, consider, let me explain it this way.
But that will show you the all the endpoints, right? But out of those endpoint, which endpoint is master?
No. See, basically, if you are seeing the, let's say if this control manager is leader now, its endpoint will be available only here. In the
Okay,
load
I'm a little bit
balancer,
confused. Maybe there are two confusions. Let me tell you why I'm asking this question. I understand what you're saying, that each resources or each components in the master server, which has their own API, controller, scheduler, etcd, these are the master controllers, master resources, right? We know that.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
each master has all these sets of resources, their own sets of resources, API,
correct.
configuration manager and scheduler, etc. Everyone has their own set of
Mm-hmm,
resources, or system resources. I got that point. Now the load balancer is going to, or maybe whosoever elected out of
mm-hmm.
these three master node 1, 2, and 3. If one master node is elected and it is elected for 15 seconds, that means that become a read write master, and the other two master node will
No,
become a
no,
read
no,
only.
no. 1 second. Let me. That is not that. So at the hardware level, this is not a. You cannot say that this is leader or something like that. Okay. I cannot say this entire master node is leader, or I cannot say this entire master node is leader. No. Okay, there are two concepts. Good that you asked this question, Vivek. Behind the load balancer, there is no, for this API server, there are, let's say, three API servers are there, right? So these three IP addresses will be there as an endpoint for
Right,
this load.
right. That we know that load balancer will
So,
add those as endpoint.
right now. So for the API server, there is no leadership election. One thing is clear, right? So in the API server, there is for API server, there is API server component, there is no leader election. Okay. But for controller manager, scheduler, and ETCD, there is a election. Now think about that. Now there are 3 API servers here. This is a controller. Let's say this is the controller manager, which is now a leader. So this endpoint will get also added here. This endpoint will also get added here for this 15 second. Now this scheduler is there. Now let's say this scheduler is there as a leader now for the time being. It will add the endpoint here, as well as it will add the endpoint here, as well as here. And same thing with the ETCD also. If this is there, its endpoint will be added in all 3 API servers.
So now questions come to further on a second stage, how to know which controller manager is acting as a star.
Yes, so whenever find out the kubectl API server endpoints, right? Okay, so that time you will be able to find out which controller manager right now for 15 seconds is active. It is for a 15 second, right? In the next 15 seconds, another controller
Right,
manager
but
may come.
can you check on your, okay, you don't have a right now, okay, you don't have a master
We don't have a
configurations.
cluster right now. We don't have a cluster right now. That is a problem.
No,
Okay.
that's what I want to know, that which is elected for 15 seconds, which resources control manager, which control manager is elected at that current moment for that period for 15 seconds, which is active.
Understood. I got it. I got your question now. So here you can see that if I use here, it is showing me the endpoints of the all these particular stuff. Can you see for the kube DNS or for metric servers? Similar for the Kubernetes, this endpoint is there, but there is no other master node. That's why it is not showing me the other alternatives, right? Other alternative information. That is the problem. So, but one thing is there, I am trying to create one documentation for, I don't know whether I will be able to upload. I'm going to upload this one. I'm going to give this to the K2N people, that how to deploy multi-master node cluster, right? So that documentation I am is in the preparation mode. I'm doing that one, and once it is uploaded, I think it will be informed to all of you guys. So that will be good exercise for you as well. Okay.
Okay.
Vivek, is that? Yeah.
Yes, no problem. But my second question, which is there on that same chat, we can go over there.
Let me just go through there. Okay. Is this multiple master is implemented in prod as a best practice? Also, we deploy it on-prem as well as clouds. Yes, we can do it on the both. This one, you can deploy the multiple master nodes on premises as well as cloud basis, also on cloud native application as well. That is what your question
Because
is.
in cloud there is more flexibility because you have better resources or services available in cloud, right? We can use AWS, Azure, or Google, whatever the resources they have, load balancers, and other components integrated, tightly integrated with the. So my question is this: that this must, because if you have on premises, then it might be a little bit of challenging when you need to create this kind of infrastructure in.
I'll tell you one thing. I will
right.
tell you, Vivek, right now, and on the, I think last week I have concluded one training for one of the MNC on the same thing, and they have their a data center, and in the data center they have the Kubernetes setup, multi-master Kubernetes setup. They have done that one, and they have a separate team for managing them. They are not using a cloud of AWS. They are not using Azure or anything. They are having their own thing. I also got surprised that normally people are not choosing such kind of on-premises setup, but they have a big team to maintain that, and they're doing it.
Right, because there's a lot of overheads, and you need to manage yourself everything.
Right.
But
Yes. You need that kind of team to manage that, or otherwise it is very difficult, tough for managing it.
so when you are
Cloud
creating a
service,
document, are you going to include the on-premises setup also, or just a,
only on premises, not on the cloud.
okay?
I will
That will
use
be
the resources from the. I will use the resources from the cloud. I will create a multiple virtual machines on the cloud because I don't have a big setup
no,
like
that
that.
is fine. That is fine. But you will be having multiple master nodes and how it works as an
Yes,
architecture level, right?
yes. It will take some time, but I will definitely share the document with each and every one of you guys. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Surinder, what is there any specific documentation this one you have sent? Availabilities also.
Yeah, availability regions and availability zones. That's the
Right.
link.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you. Rajesh is asking, but load balancer works on regional level on terms of cloud. Yeah, it works on the region. VPC create. You need to do the VPC creation, Rajesh. Does load balancer support multi-region? Yeah, it supports multi-region. Okay. All right, Surinder. Thank you. Rajesh, are you there so that I can, if you have still some more questions, I can answer your questions. Okay, thank you. He's not responding, so I think he's not there. Padma Sri is asking, cost will vary if you go with both the high availability and disaster recovery for application. No, it is essential to have the disaster recovery, Padma Sri. It is essential. You can have the half load on the disaster recovery side, but it is essential. Are you there?
So, yeah, I'm just trying to understand. So, if I am going for AWS, if I pick that my application has to be highly available as well as it should withstand for disaster recovery, that means Amazon will be having the replications in multiple data centers and regions, right? So will the cost, will there be a cost associated with it, or is that the design?
No, cost will be associated with it because they will be taking they will be doing the replication across the regions of your data. They will be taking the backup of the data at their different locations. So even though it is automated, but the cost will be associated with it for sure.
So I have to pick a plan or a configuration. How does it work? And what is the recommended configuration you will recommend if I have an application which has database read and write, as well as it is integrated with some email servers?
Okay,
Outlook.
so that documentation which I have created just now, I think I was just discussing about one discussion here, capacity planning. I think so. This was there. So there is a calculation for this one. I may not be able to cover this entire document today, guys, but I have planned to cover this document today and the next week Saturday. So this is the sizing consideration and calculation you have to do. So how many nodes we can have per cluster? 5,000. What is the suggested with that? You should have maximum pods per node is 100. But how many per core? 10. Now, Padmasri, your question is like that. How should I do the sizing? This question comes very, very frequently from all of you guys. How do I do that sizing? I'll tell you one thing. If your database is a CPU intensive, okay, or maybe it is a memory intensive, or maybe it is a disk intensive. I hope that you understand the meaning of these three words.
Yeah.
CPU, disk intensive, or memory intensive. So before deploying in the production, we'll be definitely testing it, right? And the database DBA engineer will definitely tell us that, look, this database will require this much of RAM, this many of cores, and this much amount of the let's say CPUs, right? We have to take care of the testing first before recommending something. Recommending, if I say that, let's say that you are saying that I have one customer and we want to deploy now we want to design a cluster for that customer. So can you tell me how many CPUs and RAM should I RAM and how many CPUs, how many RAMs, how many master nodes, and how many worker nodes should I suggest to the customer? Now, first question I will ask to the customer, first question that I will ask the customer that how many concurrent sessions will be there? Second question will be that, okay, so second question will be that if let's say 5,000 people are going to access it simultaneously, are they going to access it for 24 hours? Are they going to access it for 5 hours? Are they going to access it for, let's say, midnight, or what is the peak hour? Are they be there available? It will be for entire month, or will it be for my entire year? or is it for seasonal purpose? These questions, if I get the answer of this question, then we can design like this one. Oh, look, there are 5,000 concurrent users. That means I need to find out how much bandwidth will be required for one user. Once I get the one user bandwidth from the network engineer properly after doing the proper testing, then we can find out for 5,000 users, concurrent users. We can add some 50% of bandwidth over the margin over there, and we can say that customer, look, we required a 3 GB of the bandwidth for this particular application. I'm just giving an example, you guys. Another way is that you say that how much CPU and RAM is required when one application is started now. So we have to test with one user starting the application and check out how much CPU and RAM is required. Then go for the 100 user, then go for the 1,000 user, and then go for the 50,000 users. And then you have to come to the conclusion that no, look, CPU will be required this much, RAM will be required this much. And that time we have to find out input output operations required for the hard disk. So how many of them will be required? Now, once I get this data, then whenever we are modernizing the application, we are using a Kubernetes cluster. So what is the next question comes in my mind? Okay, now this application, 5,000 concurrent users are there. So how many pods should I spin up for this application? That is my first question. First thing will come in my mind. So what type of the load balancer should I use? Will it process my 5,000 requests per minute per second? Okay, so is now if I need a 10 pods to 10 pods to uh, 10 pods to serve the request coming from the users, 5,000 users simultaneously. So how many CPU and RAM I should allocate to each pod? So once I get that the topmost data, that how many users are there, for how many hours they are going to access it, and what is their CPU and RAM utilization for one user or 10 users. Once I get that data, then finding out and sizing the cluster is a very simple information. If you are a solution architect, not only Padmashri, but everyone who is there in the call, if you are a solution architect and you are in the position to give the solution to the customers, never ever give the data on the ad hoc basis. Sometime it will work if your day is good, otherwise it will backfire you. And then we'll start covering with the multiple emails saying that you should do this one, you should do that one. No, but before that, be bold and ask the question to the customer that, look, I need this information to devise this architecture for you. Is that clear to each and every one of you? That initial 3 to 4 questions to the customers will help you to design a better solution for the customer. Otherwise, it will never work. It will clear. Either you will do the oversizing or you will committing the undersizing.
Yeah. Makes sense, Ramesh. Can you, when did you add that, at least that part of things in a document? Just want to know, like. I'm not making anything, but again, yeah, this is really valid. But again, these are the practical things, sometimes, which will help.
And now I understand, Aviram. I can easily make out what you are thinking right now, because normally when customer comes, they don't know what exactly will be their load. Practically, right? They will say that I don't know how many customers will be there at the end of the 1 year, or how many customers will be there at the end of the 30 days. I don't know. That is the same question will be there. But that is what our role comes into picture, that at least you have to take some middle size. We have to take something that, look, I am considering that 5,000 users. You are okay? Are you okay with that while considering the 5,000 users? The customer will say that, no, it's okay. You consider that one. That's fine. No problem. He will say that consider for 7,000 also. Yeah, so that is the way we have to deal with, right? Yeah, thank you.
So is there some kind of a template that we can use to ask the customer so that we don't miss any of these important questions? I mean, it varies from application to application, system to system.
No, Padmashri, I'll tell you one thing. This is a hardcore questions.
Okay.
In entire my 20 years of this particular IT career, I have done the same thing.
Okay.
Customer used to fight with me, right? That why you're
Yeah.
asking these questions. I don't
Correct.
know where my business will go, but at least if you ask that kind of bold questions, then after 5 minutes of time, he will also start thinking, no, his question or her question is correct.
Okay.
I need to give some ballpark figure, right? That kind of stuff will come. So then we will
Correct.
be able to calculate some information.
Got
But
it.
your boss will say that no, we don't have time. Give it till evening, right? That is the
Yeah.
way it comes.
Yeah. So we should get a sign off or something on this document. Yeah. So
Right. Business analyst role is very important in this case. If your business analyst is not strong, you will be in the soup. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So now we were discussing about this one. I hope that is there any question left, or otherwise,
Ramesh, one question you left. I think I was talking about the load balance, global and local. Is that how does that?
Yeah, one second. Let me just if see Padmashri's question is answered. Surendra, how can we define master nodes in a case with LP?
Yep.
We have to create load balancers, Surendra.
So in AKS, generally when we created, we have the only one master node. So we get multiple of the master nodes while we are creating AKS?
Oh, you are saying that on the Azure Kubernetes system?
Yes.
Are they going to give me the? Okay, we'll just check this one while creating the AKS today if I get a time today. Okay.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Right.
Kalpak is asking what is the standard configuration of LB should be recommended for mid-traffic application. No, now I don't have the list of this Kalpak. I don't have the list of the load balancer right now. I'm not in touch with the load balancer companies, so I will not be able to make out the which make should you use or what type of the configuration you are suggesting, right, Kalpak? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I am not in touch with these vendors, right? Because I'm in training industry. I'm not in the IT industry.
No. Actually, like in Amazon and other like Azure, they are providing a load balancers.
Okay, I never think about the cloud people, right? I always think about that I have a data center and I want to buy a load balancer for my customers.
Okay, so you are thinking in perspective of like in-house data center, not as a cloud data center.
I didn't immediately pick up that question. So now, if you want to use the standard load balancer, or there are some 4 to 5 load balancer types are there. So we have to check the specification of each one, Kalpak, on the Amazon or Azure. There are certain specifications are there. If you do that one, you'll get the answer of that question.
Okay.
So just one question to Kalpak, like question to Kalpak, that, what does he mean by mid-traffic application? Is it he means by middleware application, like integration which
No, my mid-traffic application means like there is like not exactly high traffic application where like 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000 user concurrently on the site. It may be like 500, 800 people concurrently on the site.
I think that for that purpose, basic standard load balancer will also work.
Okay. Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you. But good question, Kalpak. Good question.
Yeah. Thank you, Ramesh.
See, Kalpak, one thing you can think is like you may have 100 or 800, but see that what is the TPS you want to achieve, because 100 may be at one day or 100 may be month or whatever, right? But TPS.
No. I'm talking about concurrent user at a time.
That is TPS, right? Absolutely correct. Yeah. Good. Good discussion. Thank you. Anirban, can you also explain the reason of what I think we have discussed about this, Anirban? Is it okay?
Yeah, means why the odd number of, because in the middle of our discussion you told that you will tell about it later. Maybe
No, I have
discussed.
I have discussed about that. Why should we have an odd number to take a decision? Let's say if you want to do some work, and there are only 2 people who are going to give a decision to you. Right. So that time it will be difficult, right? If the both says that equally, then there will be a problem. So if you have 3 people and 2 people say that yes and 1 person say no, so you have the decision maker there. So it is always better to use a
Okay, got it.
odd
Means
number.
for voting purpose it is needed. Yeah, got it.
Right. Voting purpose, taking a decision, who will be a leader or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Can you explain the networking and IP address allocation per document again? Oh, okay. No, Abhiram, it is simple definition. Let's say that Abhiram, you want to have 1,000 pods in worker nodes. So what if you have, let's say, if you want 1,000 pods to be deployed. So if each pod requires one IP address,
Correct.
so how many IP addresses required? 1,000 IP addresses.
Yes.
So which range of the IP addresses we will use? Let's say if I want to give the 10.0.0.0 network, so what should be the at the end? So it depends on what it is a 2 raised to power to the power we have to use. Let's say if I use a 2 raised to 10, how much it will be? It will be 1024 minus 2, right? So that will come around 1022 IP addresses can be used. So this should be so total number of bits are 32, right, in IP HIPPO segment.
Correct.
Minus 10. So it will be 22. So I have to use 22 subnet. So formula is like this one: usable IP addresses equal to 2 raised to number of zeros minus 2. So let's say that you want 1,000 IP addresses, or let's say 5,000 IP addresses. It is equal to, you have to find out 2 raised to whatever the X amount is there. So you have to calculate the X here, minus 2. If you use this formula, you will get answer.
Oh, okay. So it's like 22 you are deriving based. Okay. So that will be like based on that you are putting that CIDR, right? That's how it is, right? The
Right.
/22 is CIDR, correct? Okay.
Correct. So I will give one exercise to you. Do one thing for all of you guys. If you are networking guy, don't do this one because you might be knowing this one very well, better than me. But 32, okay, and what will be its subnet mask? 255.255.255.255 dot. How many IP addresses will generate out of this one? 0. Similarly, you find out for /31. /31 means how many? 1 0, right? So you have to calculate. It is 255.255.255.254. So usable, yeah. So usable IP addresses 0 again. Go for /30 till /1. You make a table out of it. Once you do the table once in a life, you will never come. Everybody will be understand what is the CIDR, or how to calculate the number of how to calculate the CIDR for this one. So
okay.
please try to do this one. This is very important exercise. Okay, cool. So if I need 1 lakh IP addresses.
No, but again, Ramesh, one thing, if you get 254, you are telling still 0 IP address, but again, 1 is there, right? No, is it not like that? Maybe I'm kind of missing there.
No, because there is 1 0, right? 1 0 is there. So 2 raised to number of zeros, kitna hoga, what is the number? 2 raised to 1 is equal to 2, minus 2 is 0. If I say that /30 means how many zeros are there? 255.255.255. It will be 252. 2 zeros are there, right? So 2 zeros are there. That means it is 2 raised to 2 minus 2. That is 4 minus 2. So your usable IP addresses will be 2.
Oh, okay. So that way, okay.
And if it is /1, then there are 31 zeros are there, and only one.
Correct.
So 128.0.0.0. So how many IP addresses you can have? 2 raised to 31 minus 2. That is the calculation you have to do.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I hope that this is clear now.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Ramesh,
Now,
I heard
yes.
from you that there is something called TLS certificates. What is it? And would there be any questions related to that on CK exam?
No, TLS, there is no question on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Sonal, I think that's it, right? All questions has been answered. All right.
And the certificate where they are configured, Ramesh, is it sorry? It's on is the router, right? The certificate configuration, correct?
No. Application wise, you are talking, then you have to do it on the ETC. Let's say if you are talking about the Kubernetes certification, then you can find out at this location. Okay, for all component certificates are there, right? For API server, ETCD is there, kubelet is there. Okay, then you have another proxy related is there. Can you see this one? These are the keys are available. For the ETCD also you will have a keys. This is your standard certificate, standards keys. Do you remember the RBAC lecture which I have taken? If you
Yeah.
don't remember that one, please see that how to generate the certificates. Or else you can also buy the certificates from the external vendor to deploy it. This is one thing. This is your Kubernetes level certificates. But another certificate that is something called as application level. So where we application level in the sense that you have a 10 pods and you have deployed 10 pods, right, guys, in the deployment, and now you want to have a certificate for that one. So where you will deploy this certificate? This question is to all of you. Consider that I have one server, bare metal machine, and there is one website running inside that. So where I will deploy certificate, SSL or TLS?
Istio or those, that's where, right? The incoming wherever it comes.
No. Don't go
We can
over there.
create as a key store and we can point it to that.
This is my just server. This is my bare metal machine. I have operating system here, hard disk operating system on that top, HTTP installed, and I have a code here. So where should I
So you
deploy
will
my
do SSH key gen and then we'll generate public private key and then we will generate a self-signed certificate from it using OpenSSL.
But it will be inside the server or somewhere else outside?
It will be in the bin, mostly in the bin directory, or in Tomcat it is under the configuration directory there.
Right.
For Windows,
Right.
it will be in IS somewhere.
Correct. So it is somewhere inside the IS configuration or your HTTP configuration. Somewhere will keep that location, right? Okay, cool. And
So Ramesh, like for Linux, we generally import the modules, right, in httpd conf file, like mod
correct.
security,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
then we use them. Like generally, our server should be, by default they listen on port 80, but this certs, they make sure then the server is started listening on 443 as well.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So we use SSL certificates or something like that, right? For over there, we install mod_SSL. So what I want to explain you, we don't want to go into the detailing of that one, how to create that. I just want to tell you what is the location of it. So this is my server. Now, second thing, let's say this is my virtual machine. Okay, so there is a big hardware is there, and on the hardware I have deployed the hypervisor, and out of that, this is my one virtual machine, the VM1. Right. So where my certificate will be present? Same way, whatever you have discussed in the bare metal machine, in the virtual machine also you will have a operating system. On the top of that there will be HTTPD install. On the top of that there will be your code will be there, and at some location in the operating system you will have a SSL certificate. Correct? Right. And now third one is container. So this is my pod, and inside that pod there is a container, and inside that container there is my Red Hat operating system. HTTPD is there. Then I have something called as source code of my website, and where I will keep my certificate, SSL certificate. Are you getting it, guys? So be it a container, be it a virtual machine, or my bare metal machine, the definition of SSL certificate will remain same as it is, and the location will also remain same here and there, but it will be same.
Yeah, Ramesh, here when you
But
say
we
that
can
a
create
container, right? So can we share like a sidecar container and we can keep over there and we can keep and we can point it to all
Yes. we can do that. Yeah, we can do that way. Also, we can create a volume and we can attach that volume as
Yeah,
a secrets or config maps there. Secrets,
yeah,
specifically secrets. Yeah.
because we are not going to change every time on the certificates, right? So
Correct.
we can keep a separate location and we can point to that.
So this will be my volume and this will be pointed to this particular location. So things are
Ramesh, like
same.
it will depend upon the type of the pods, right? Suppose for one pod, if you're using some window application, it will be as server, all the stuff. If you're using for some other pod, pardon?
Yeah, correct. You are saying correct. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. No, I got it then. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, Ramesh, if this volume is mounted across two different host machines, different hardware, then this certificate will not work on both the host machines, right? It will only work on the hardware on which this certificate is configured and containers are running, right? Because certificates go by the libraries of hardware, right?
No, SS certificate doesn't go that way.
So you're saying like if my SSL certificate is generated for two different hardware, any container running on them will run successfully, right? Using the certs.
No, you are saying that if it is a hardware based, then it will not work on the other hardware. If it is IP based or if it is at the application layer level based, then it will work, right? So
Okay,
if
I
can,
I got it. I got it. Basically, it is so when a cert is configured. Okay, so basically the domain name is common name is configured in that certs, right?
right.
Something.
Okay, I
So
have never seen the hardware level this one. IP based or domain level based, we have checked it, but not on the hardware level.
no, I got it now. Thank you. We actually I configured it for my application. So it was only what you said for I configured it for the fully qualified domain name, and then it was like fully qualified domain name, and it worked on all the machines.
Right.
So basically, it took that domain, the means whatever was my fully qualified domain name, it will work on all of them.
Right. Correct. So that is basically wild thing we have chosen, right? So it will work for all the stuffs.
Yeah, as long as that hardware is in that fully qualified domain name, it will work. Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool. Which command to verify private key? No, this is something which is you can just check out. Private key will not have an extension. It will be just a key name. Here you can see here. Oh, I need to rush, guys, because it is very interesting topics, but require a lot of time, right? So there is no key generated here. If I generate the key here, SSH, what is the command to generate the key? SSH key.
Keygen.
Can you see here? Now this is my private key. This is my public key. Sonali.
Yes, Ramesh. Sorry, I had stepped away for a while. Yeah, I got it.
All right. Thank you.
So
No
can you
problem.
share the commands on the chat itself?
Yeah, I'm doing. Yes. Okay. No problem. Guys, I think I have tried to explain you about the high availability. Let us now move ahead. But is the time for the break? What is the time now? I forgot the time.
45 EST.
Okay.
Ramesh, is there any activity guide for this high availability?
Oh, no, see, cluster deployment will be created. Don't worry about it. Cluster deployment documentation is not created till now. I am in the preparation. I am doing that preparation. Once it is created, then you can do the master deployment. Multi-master. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, guys. So what we'll do, I think I have discussed about this leader election, guys. Can you see here? And if anybody, let's finish this quickly, guys, in 2 minutes, and then we'll go for the break. I have explained this diagram properly. I think so. We don't need any more discussion. And how the leader election is done? You see here, instance who firstly creates a service endpoint is the leader of the service at very beginning. This instance then adds control plane annotation to expose leader. Yeah, Vivek, your question was this one, right? And I wanted to give this answer. Yeah, so it adds, if there is any instance or any component becomes a leader, it adds an annotation there as a leader annotation. So if you describe that particular component, you will be able to find out, look, this is, I'm a leader. So this annotation is
Okay,
important.
thank you.
Yeah. All right. Now, the leader instance shall constantly renew its lease time to indicate its existence, right? And so this is done after every 15 seconds of time. And if you want to find out who is a leader and who is not, you can use this command kubectl describe 8 points for the kube controller manager. Let me just try out this command, because there is a possibility that it may show us kubectl describe endpoint from the kube system, right? For the controller manager. Kube controller manager, sorry. From where this name is coming, kube controller manager? What is this? This is the master servers component. Not found. Yeah, because it is not available, right? One second, the kubectl endpoints from.
Just remove, give up to -n namespace level. Let's see.
Cube. But I need to describe it, right? So for the description purpose, okay, let me just check out. Yeah, so it is not showing for the kube controller manager because it is only one, right? That's why it is not showing here. But if I show, let's say,
But it should be default. I mean, one, it should show that that's a leader, right?
No, there is a different join command need to be used to perform that activity. Then only it will show. There is a different command already. Join command available. kubectl describe endpoint called as a kube DNS from the kube dash system. Yeah, it shows here. See, it is not showing it as because there is no leader concept here, na? So that is why it is not showing. The moment we create a cluster, a multi-node cluster, we will be able to see this one. So
okay, that feature might be invoked only at the time of when we have multiple master.
Correct, right? Yeah, it is not showing here. Okay, cool. Now the last slide before the break is leader reelection. How the leader reelection is done? So followers will constantly check the existence of service points, right? So follower is nothing but the controller manager from other nodes will always try to check the existence of a service point. The moment they found that there is no existence, this one service endpoint available, they start forming the quorum. If it is created already by the leader, then the followers will do not do an additional lease renew checking against the current time. All right, so this is something about generating a new renew the time is older than now, which means leader failed to update its lease during duration and suggests the leader is crashed, right? So then the followers will start becoming a leader. So the whoever will try to add the endpoint into the API service, right? That will be treated as a leader again. That is what we have discussed, guys. So having multiple master nodes ensure that service remains available should master nodes fail. In any case, if master node fails, it will definitely help you to make your services available. So in order to facilitate availability, facilitate the availability of master services, they should be deployed with odd numbers. We want quorum to be maintained should one or more masters fail, master node majority, and provides highly available master services, ensuring that the loss of up to n-1 divided by 2 master nodes will not affect cluster operations. So this is the formula which is used. That's why these odd numbers are required. So it will not impact the operations of the cluster if you have the odd number subset, right? Because quorum will be formed. The decision will be taken to form the leader, and that leader will go and add the service endpoint into the specific API node. Okay, so this is what our next topic is, guys, how to backup and restoring cluster. So what we'll do, we'll take a 10 minutes of break, guys, and once we come back, we'll start doing this exercise. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, thank you.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so what exactly we are going to do, a couple of things that is called as a, first of all, we'll discuss about how to backup and restore your cluster. Okay, so this is very important, guys. As I told you, and we were discussing about the high availability cluster. So whenever we write any deployment or whenever try to create a pod or create a service or create a persistent volume claim, all the objects, all the kinds which has been created in the Kubernetes cluster, its entry or its configuration details are present inside the ETCD database, right? So the very critical and very important component, you can set up your cluster again, guys, but what if your all the manifest files, or what if your existing setting gets deleted? It will be difficult to recreate it. It will take time to recreate, right? So it is very important to take a backup of the cluster. It is the heart of your cluster, right? So all Kubernetes objects are stored in on etcd database. So it is essential to take a take a periodical backup. So mostly people might be thinking about taking the backup on per hour basis also, right? If there are a lot of changes are happening, right? We can take 30 minutes backup, up to 30 minutes also, right? Or you can take weekly backup also, as well as daily backup. So it is important that's why the moment you want to deploy something new, and if it is not in your hand as a backup administrator, it is essential that you should write a script for as a business continuity volume that for 30 minutes your backup should be taken. Okay, so and when you take a backup, it creates a snapshot basically, and it saves. You can save in a local folder, or you can save at the storage, so that it can be kept outside the cluster location. So in case something goes wrong, you can recover that file from the outside storage location. So basically it creates a snapshot which has okay, so etcd supports the built-in snapshot. So backing up an etcd cluster is really easy. It is comparatively easy, guys. And this question comes in the examination also. So the two tasks which I'm going to conduct, demonstrate now, both of them come for the examination. So you can look at this, guys. And restore from the snapshot. So the question comes for taking the backup, as well as question come to restore the snapshot as well. So I will show you both ways. So this is very simple command, guys. Can you see here how to take a snapshot? It is etc dctl API is equal to 3, and this is the command which you have to use, etcd ctl snapshot save, and this is the name of your snapshot, and then certificate information. Which certificate information is there to access the API, this particular API version that need to be picked up. So I think this is a recent version used till now. API is equal to 3 for the etcd, and you can use that one. So this is the syntax. What is required for this one? You have to use this etcd-ctl API is equal to 3 version, and this is the command which you need to use. Then snapshot save, you have to give the name of the snapshot and the certificates, that is ca.cert, server.cert, and key of the server. So these three things need to be provided while creating a backup of it. If you miss anything of it, then it will not be restored properly. So taking a backup is very, very essential. Now in the examination, from where you will get this one? Okay, so it will, so from in the examination, if you let's say try to, let me go to the, where is this one? Yeah. Can you see here, kubernetes.io? And in the kubernetes.io, you can go to the documentation. You can open one tab in the examination. And here you can type there etcd backup, enter. And the moment you enter here, you will be able to find the command to backup it, right? So don't go to the discuss one. You have to use this. Okay, and here there will be some information about how to take a backup and everything. So you can see, yeah, this is the command. Can you see here? ETCD API is equal to 3 ETCD CTL, and you have to give certain, yeah, this is something communication one. Backing up an ETCD cluster. You can see at the right hand side, this particular option is there, and you can use this command. Look at this. It is given here. All the information given here. So if you forgot in the examination that how to use the command, you can just go to this location, copy this one. Okay, etcd ctl API is equal to 3 etcd ctl endpoints and all that stuff. Okay, so let me take up this one. So is this etcd ctl? This is the command. Let me just copy this one, guys. So where I can find out my okay, let me go to the okay, cd/var/lib, and there is a cd etcd folder, and inside that you can see member. This is where your data is there, etcd data. So you can go inside the snap, and this is a db. Yeah, you can see here. Okay, so it is simply 2.6 db, not more, right? It is a size, database size is very, very small now. Let me just create some deployment. kubectl create deployment called as app1 -- image is equal to httpd -- replicas is equal to 9. Replicas doesn't work. Okay, let me just create it here. kubectl scale deployment /app1, and let me make replicas of it is equal to 9. It is scaled. Now can you see here kubectl get pods, and you should be able to see this, all the pods are getting created, right? It is running. And now if you see the size of it, I hope that it has changed something. Oh, it is in MB, right? So if you see in the kilobytes, it might have increased, guys, but I have not taken that size here, 2.6 in the KBs. Okay, so let me just create one more application. It will not increase much size in the, it will just increase in the bits, right, and pieces, because it is a small application. Nothing is there inside it. I can scale up it also. Let's say I want 3 replicas of it or 5 replicas out of it. And now see here ls-el. Do you see any changes? There are no changes because it's just a small characters we have changed. So it might not have changed much thing in there because it just store the information in the key value format, but it is important. Now what I will do here, I will delete this one, guys. We'll delete this var/lib etcd folder, but before that I need to take a backup of it, right? We'll take a backup and then we'll check it. Okay, so it is important to take a backup of it, and once the backup is taken, then we can restore it, guys. So let me go and just show it to you. So I have a documentation for that one. This is very important. So how many commands you need to fire in the examination also? Look at this one. So yeah, so backing up the okay, so if it normally in the examination these binaries are installed, but probably it is not available here. So let me just check out. It is not available there, I think. So ETCD. Okay, so this binary is not there. So if you see here ETCD, this CTL, this command is not there. So I need to install it. So let me bring down let me just use this command to run this binaries. But please keep this in mind in the examination. I'm repeating it. In the examination, you don't have to download this binary because already they have installed it. So now let me take this one to the different location. Okay, cd/home, and here let me just untar it, tar hyphen xvzf, right? Do you remember that command? Right, it will extract it, and you can see here it is extracted. So let me go to this location, and these two commands are there, etcd and etcd-ctl. So I need to copy this command. So how do I do that? Okay, so these commands are given here, guys, how to unzip it, then move the files to user local bin. So I can move this etcd entire folder, I can move to this location, so that automatically it will become commands. So let me do that. It is version 3.10, right? Let me just copy this. Yeah, now you can see here etcd command has come, right? Hyphen help if you want to see, and etcd as well as etcd-ctl command is there. So both commands have got installed. So what are the commands I fired? Just couple of commands. One is download this. You don't have to use this in examination, because to take a backup of the etcd database, we need a etcd-ctl command, and for that one we need to install that one. But right now in my cluster it is not available, that's why I'm downloading it, but in examination it is not required. And after that, what you need to do, you have to extract it. So this is the second command that you need to fire. So once you extract it, third command is that you have to move this one to the user local bin. This up to this point you don't have to do anything in the examination, but these are the three commands which require to, while practicing you will require this one. So let me give this command to you. Okay, and now once this is done, then we have to take a backup of it. So how do I take the backup? So let's go to the command straightforward. So it is a little bit bigger command, but don't worry, this is also available on the Kubernetes site, right? So etcd-ctl API is equal to 3. This is the version you need to specify. This is important. Space etcd-ctl. Okay, this is a command. Then snapshot. Save. What is the name you want to give to the snapshot? Let's say Vadapav underscore etcd dot db. Snapshot dot db. Oh, I'm so sorry. So this is the command. Okay. After this one, so first of all, you need to give the version. Second thing, you need to give the command. Then snapshot. Say this is simple command, and whatever the file name you want to give, you can give it here. Okay. Then after that, you need to specify the certificate information. So CA cert 1, then just cert, and third one is your key. Okay, so important this. So once you write this definition, you have to provide the CA cert, you have to provide the cert and you have to provide the key of the server. So where you will get this one? You can get this from ETC. What is the location? Kubernetes. PKI. So this is standard location for everything. Then ETCD. And then give the name of the certificate. What is it? CA.cert. Okay, so again you have to copy the same path, etc ca kubernetes etcd, and give this path here equal to cert. And here also equal to. So the path is same, only you have to change the key. So now what is the name of the key? Server.key. And what is the name of the cert? Server.cert. Server.key and server.crt. Okay, so let me do one thing, guys. First of all, let me comment out this one. Okay, please mute it, guys, and go to the location called as ls-el/etc/kubernetes pki. Somebody please mute etcd, right? And you can see here you have all these things. Server.cat is there, key is there, already it is there. If you forgot the name of this one, you can go to this location also and check what are the certificates and keys are available. That's it, right? So now let me just use the same command to take a backup. So did you understood how to build this command? Up to this one you have to remember, if required, etcd ctl snap save and the name of the database snapshot. And from that you have to use three keys, ca cert, cert and key. And that's it, guys.
There is no CRT.
CRT, just CRT, right? Yes. And it is done. See, backup is also taken. You can see here. I got a backup.
Ramesh, we don't need to take the ca.key backup.
No, not required. Yeah, in the real scenario you have to take it. Real scenario you have to take the backup of this PKI folder, entire PKI folder, because inside PKI folder you will find everybody's cert keys backup. It is important. Okay, so can you see what up? This is the size of it, 2.6 MB. Cool. So now I got the snapshot. The backup is there. Now I will delete the etcd folder. So how do I? First of all, you can verify it also, whether the backup is correct or not. So you can use the same command, space snapshot status, and this name of this one. So it will show you that how many members are there and size and everything. So you can see this specific status of it. Okay, and now once this is done,
Ramesh Kalpak here.
Hmm.
Can you go to the command line?
Yes, sure. One second. So this is the command which is used to take a backup of the etcd certificates and everything. Look at this. This is the question asked a little bit before some time, right? Yeah. So I have it. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Why we are not taking the health check client CRT key and peer CRT key in snapshots?
Yeah, because it is not required for, let's say, when we restore it, right? So when API server want to talk to the etcd, right? So the keys which are used, authentication for the authentication purpose, the keys which are used, they are the cert, server key, and server CRT. That's it. These are the three keys used. So
okay. And
that
rest
will
of
not.
rest of other keys we need to move manually into the folder when we are restoring the backups.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
So in case your ETCD, you are restoring the ETCD backup, right? And something really got bad, and your ETCD keys are also got deleted, not only data. So that time you need to have the backup of the ETCD keys as well as the backup of the ETCD database.
Okay.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you. So now I have taken the backup of the keys also, and now first of all let me delete it, right? So then we'll try to do it. We have created some deployments are there, right? So we don't have to create this one. Now let me just go to the to restore. We will have to first delete the present etcd content. So let's look into the grab all the details. We need to restore command to execute this one. Okay, so we'll just take this one later on, but let me take up the copy of it. This will not delete actually. Cat etc kubernetes manifest. Inside the manifest file you have etcd.yaml. This is important file. I will discuss about this as well. Okay.
So do we
Okay.
need to mandatorily do cat command, or is it just we are just looking whether the file is present?
Yeah, the reason is that why we need to cat it. Why we need to cat it? The reason is that you see here some of the values are there, like advertise client URL or initial advertise peer URL. These values need to be used while restoration. Okay, we require these values, we require this information, and that's why we have to cat it and keep the information somewhere in the notepad or something like that. So I can just use it here. I can store that on this location. Okay, in the notepad I can use it. In the examination also we can get a notepad. Okay, now what I will do, now I will delete it. cd/var/lib/etcd. This is my database, right? So let me delete the etcd folder or etcd data. So this is that one what we need to do. Yes, I will use that now. Let me delete this etcd folder itself. Now see, if I try to log in here, I don't have etcd now. It is completely deleted. So now if I see here kubectl gate pods or look, nothing is there. No pod is there. I'm not able to get anything. Kubectl gate secrets.
So we are backing up and restoring the stuff
Right.
for
So
kind of a
what I'm
trouble.
trying kind of troubleshooting only. So guys, I'm not able to see the any single pod running inside my through this kubectl command.
But Ramesh, if you do this one, it should throw error, right? But it's giving you the output because you don't have a database. How does it get the
No,
data?
this is talking to the API server, right? And when API server is trying to talk to the etcd, it is not getting any information. That's why it is showing no resources found. It is not showing you any other error.
Yeah, I think the EML file is present. That's why it's showing. But if the EML file is moved, means the pod is present till now, the ETCD pod, but the database is not present.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
YAML file
Okay.
is correct. Yeah, correct.
In case of AML is moved, then I think we get this error, right? Yeah. Last time I think you showed Ramesh. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Manifest, right? If I move from this location, this etcd YAML to let's say home folder, this is important. And now No, it is not showing anything. Right, so pod is not there now. Pod also got removed from this place, right? So if I fire anything now, nothing is coming from the, because guys, very important thing is that I will show you this once we restore the cluster, once we restore the ETCD database. I think if I have not explained you the static pod concept, lot of noise is coming.
Yeah, Ramesh, you explained the static pod in the earlier class.
It is done? Okay, no problem.
Yeah, it's done, Ramesh.
All right, so now let me bring back this one, cd/home/etcd dot YAML to the current location, right? Now you will get the pod will get created. Now pod will also not get created because it is deleted. Now there is no database, so we will not get any information. So it is completely disturbed now. We don't have anything. So what should we do? Now we have ETCD has been deleted completely, but I have a backup. And this is important. And if I delete this file, what will happen? This is my single point of failure now, right?
Would be
So I will
totally
not be,
Cluster will be gone completely.
yes, it will be gone completely. So now, how to restore this? So there are certain set of commands that we need to use. It is a little bit big command, right?
Ramesh, just one question, like if you're saying the cluster is gone, but we can still log into the worker node 1 and 2, right?
Yes, we can log into the worker 1 and worker 2. And there will be your pods will be running, containers will be running over there.
So the data control will be running.
Yes.
And there is no impact in the application. Still, you can connect to the applications.
Yes, correct.
Just only the connection between the master node to the worker node, and when we want to execute anything, the API key will not communicate to the kubectl of the worker node and worker node. That's the thing. There is a breakage between that.
We will not be able to scale up. We will not be able to do anything.
No new operations will be permitted, right?
Right. Yes. No new. Yes, correct. So let's now copy this. Now I have to create this, right, guys? This is a little bit bigger command, but let's do that. So guys, can you see this command? etcd API 3. This is showing one IP address. Okay, this is endpoints. Then CA cert. We have the CA cert. Then key is there. The name of the Kubernetes master server. A directory where your var-lib etcd should be restored. What initial cluster you will get from this particular location. Okay, and cluster token will go also get from this particular location only. Okay, and that's why this is important. Catching the file of the YAML file of the etcd.yaml file is important because we'll get lot of parameters from this one. So if you don't remember, that's fine. You will get this command from kubernetes.io also, as well as if you type etcd help restore command, that also will give you information. Let me copy this, guys, and put it in the notepad. Already this information is there, so it makes life easier. Look at this, is a really big command, guys, right? So etcd snapshot restore. So what is the name of my snapshot? I need to replace this.
Endpoint IPs will be same like for everything.
No. This is okay. Endpoint, this 127 is okay because it is a local hosted. CA cert is also okay. Okay.
What is changing then? Like which part of the command will be changed?
Yeah, everything will be remained as it is. Only the IP address will get changed. This IP address will get changed. So what is the IP address of it now? 10.3.0.4.
Something will be across spectrum because you need not be to sell product. You need not be for consumers to believe that it is exciting, it's interesting to own a product like that.
Apply for Upgrad's Master of Business Administration from Liverpool Business School. పోలీసులు ఇరు వర్గాల పోలీస్ బందోబస్తు ఏర్పాటు చేశారు. అదేవిధంగా ఈ దాడి ప్రతి దాడులు జరగకుండా భారీ ఎత్తున పోలీసులు మోహరించిన పరిస్థితి. ఇద్దరు ఎమ్మెల్యే మాజీ ఎమ్మెల్యే ఇద్దరి మధ్య కూడా తరచుగా వివాదాలు అనుచరుల మధ్య ఘర్షణలు జరుగుతూనే ఉన్నాయి.
Okay. Make sure that you mute, guys. Don't do that one. Just disturbing the class. Okay, now let me copy this command again here and paste it here. Can you see this is a big command, right? And that need to be fired. And if this is fired properly, then it works. Is it coming appropriately, guys? Yes. Let me copy it and just again paste it. Let me clear the screen. Yes. Okay. So now let me just fire this command. So ETCD CTL API 3 and a lot of options are given. So these options might be confusing. So, but don't worry, you can easily do this one. Yes, it is allowed. It is showing where lib etcd is not exist. So what should I do? I need to create a directory. Okay, let me just use it. mkdir-p//lib/etcd because we deleted that, right? Now see. Now it is saying etcds exist. Okay, and now let me see what is the command. It should get copied, right?
Is the cluster name will be the etc-cluster1?
Okay, so I can get this information here. Yeah, the cluster name is different here. Master upgrade. Yeah, this is the name of the cluster. I think that's it, right? Yeah.
But in the initial cluster, master upgrade seems to be different. -initial cluster equal to master upgrade equal to URL of that is the same thing. Is that correct?
This one?
Yeah, that is also one.
No, this one is correct. I think this one is not a problem. Initial cluster token, right? You can give any name here. etcd. Yeah, that's fine. What is the mistake?
In one option, initial cluster equal to master upgrade equal to URL. Is that correct?
No, 1 second. Let me check out if this command is taken the. Have I copied this command correctly? 1 second. Let me copy it again. So I'm taking the command from this location, guys. So it is showing initial cluster is equal to kubedium. Yeah, there was some mistake, right? Yeah. Let me just copy this command again. Oh, why it is showing like this one? So this is the name of the command. Okay. It is showing initial cluster is equal to master upgrade is equal to HTTPS. So let me just now try out 10 dot. This is the IP address also. So first of all, let me change the name of the cluster wherever it is used. These are the keys. Okay.
It'll be easy for you to track.
Which one?
Format word wrap so that it'll be in a. It'll be easy to track.
Right. Yeah, it is equal. It is correct actually. Kubedium master only. It is a master upgrade. So that was correct. We can wrap it here from this place. Yeah, word wrap is there. Correct. Thank you. And now let me change this IP address 10.3.0.4. Let me change this also. Endpoints 2379, right? So let me change it this. Then
You need to change the IP address of HTTPS, the 42380.
yes, and this one also. Okay, I think this is okay. Fine. Now let me just try out.
Snapshot name.
Yeah, snapshot name. What is the snapshot name? I will get it from this place, right?
Vadapav snapshot.db.
Yeah, this is correct, right? I have copied it exactly. Anything is missing now? I think it is as it is, right? Let me just copy this. And
Can you check if it is the folder? Yeah, remove the folder. I think it.
yeah, let me just check out. Okay, now let me go to the home directory. How come it is saying it is exist? Okay. Is the command changed or what? What is my cluster version kubectl gate? Nothing will work, right? What has gone wrong? Everything is fine.
Do we have a ETCD YAML file to read the certificates?
And also, should we need to give the path of the snapshot?
Because it is, I'm taking it from the current location, that's why. Okay.
Okay.
See, basically what is happening, it is creating a directory cd/var/lib/etcd, right? This has created, it has created member also. It has copied it. But it is not copying entire database. See, what could be the reason for this one?
So in this case,
Yeah, remove this
Ramesh, can
etcd
we click?
directory.
What is the mistake?
I mean,
Yeah,
if
tell
you
me.
take that member, again, take a backup of that member and re-execute of the restore, might be.
Let me just check out this way.
I think we need to remove the member also, right?
It is removed completely. Remove the folder only. Entire etcd folder has been deleted.
Okay, got it.
I think the name is given something different. I think it is capital M if
Why
I'm
is it
not wrong.
the initial cluster token etcd dash cluster 1?
That name I can give anything.
Ramesh, can you just check if there is any etcd process running already and kill that and restore?
Okay. I think that's it, right? This is the two places where this was running.
And also give the fully qualified where your database file is /home.
No, but I just deleted this folder, right? So it is saying that it is available.
Ramesh, can you just do ps-ef grep etcd?
Oh.
Can you check? Can you kill those process and then try to restore?
Yeah, this is showing some, yeah, right. It's Cube API server, right? Okay, now let me check out. Now nothing is there. See, the moment I delete this command, it was showing me that. Let me go to this now folder. Var lab etcd. It is there. It is there. So now I will delete this time. rm-f for etcd. Is it creating it again?
Try checking again whether it is there.
No, now it is not there, right?
I think when you're restoring it is trying to create, but since the processes are running, I think it's failing. Let's try to restore now and see.
Yeah, now I think it should work.
It is. Is it there? No. ps-.
Oh, I need to go to the home directory. Yes.
Yeah, your current location. Now something I think it's changed a little bit.
No, it's worked.
Yeah.
It's worked. It worked.
Yeah. The process, I think.
Process was creating a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Good one,
Good.
Venkatesh. Yeah.
In the examination, otherwise he will keep running here and there. Okay. It will take some time to come show you the pods, right? It might be getting linked now. Let me check out whether process is started. Grep etcd. Yeah, it is started. It is started. Is there any other command that I need to fire? I think that's it. That is the only command that I need to fire. But why pods are not coming up? Yes, it has come here now.
etcd here. ETCD, ETCD,
You
Docker,
want me
inspect ETCD.
Yeah, I will go to there. Go to that location. Var lib etcd member snap. Yes, I got the database back. Yes, 2.6 MB. The error
Ramesh,
was
if you can add this in the document so that it will be helpful for us to troubleshoot like the process when, because you might
yes,
forget, right? Don't get.
right. Yes,
If you
sure,
can
sure.
modify the document, it will be helpful for us to troubleshoot, and exam also will be little bit aware
Helpful,
of
right?
this.
Normal exam, this problem will not come, but I don't know why it is came. Last time when I did this practical, that time it went smoothly. Uh, Anyhow, but this will be added. Don't worry. Thank you, Venkatesh.
Miss, can you just explain the syntax once again, that full means like
Okay.
in the
So,
exams, like if you go to the
mhm.
station, we will get that, right? The command which you are about to create, restore the DB, ETCD.
This command, big command, right?
Yeah.
This
So you
command you
can
need
just
to
map with the documentation.
Okay, I will tell you exactly. Let me show you this one. Um, how to what I did in the examination. Actually, I am going to explain this in the session actually on the Sunday. But this took a little bit time for me to do in the examination. The reason was that I was not able to remember all this path, this particular what are the points that I should keep. But later on, I found that if I use command etcd --help, somewhere it has given these keys here. See, in the help, okay, it shows that you can use cert file. If you have forgotten the option, which option should you use? There is an endpoint. It is showing deprecated, but you can use this endpoints option. Then you can use a cert file. You can use a key file. You can use a CA file. Okay, so these are the three files which need to be used along with the endpoints. So, and no other things are there. So now see here the command. So if I remove three keys from this one, which are these keys? Let me remove the key called as.
Wait, Ramesh, can you ping this command to us so that I can just keep it, save it?
Okay, 1 second. This command you want me to say, share?
The 1133 line number. Thank you.
Okay, all right, no problem. So what I was trying to show you that how to map this command, right? So there are three keys are there inside this one. Remove these three keys. So you'll understand what need to be remembered. So these are three keys: cert and CS cert. Now this command becomes little bit small, right? Now if you have the output of this particular file, so out of that what is there? You have endpoints. So from where you will get these endpoints? Okay, so this is your basically it doesn't show you here endpoint anywhere, right? So you have to pick up this line. You require this one, but you have to use endpoint here. So you need to remember this one, but it will be difficult to remember. So what should you do? You should go to the Google dot where it is that documentation and type here etcd restore command. If you go to this location, and one thing is that you should not go to the discuss Kubernetes site, otherwise they will take your paper out. Okay, so we have to open this, and there is a backup and etcd cluster. There will be somewhere restoration will be also there, restoring an etcd cluster. So in the restoration, they have given only this much of, see this command has been given. etcdctl endpoints snapshot restore snapshot db. So this is the first command that you can find out from this location. But the rest of the things that you need to find out, you can see here, you have to use etcd server, but nothing is shown here, guys. Can you see? Nothing is there. So how I got this point? Okay. From where, somewhere I got this information. It is not that it is not easy to remember all this. Okay. So this command, this much command you have to remember. Let's say that etcdctl restore snapshot hyphen help. You should be able to get some more information from this place. Okay, hyphen help, where I fired this command, this command. So it shows that data dirs, initial advertised peer URL, initial cluster token, name, and global option, CA cert, and key. I think 9 options are there. So out of that, data directory, initial advertised peer URL, initial cluster token, and name, CA cert. These are the commands that you need to use. These are the options that you need to use. If you see now this command, let me show you the notepad also here, and let me open this one. You should be able to see what is there inside in the command. Other than the certificates, this is the endpoint is there. Now see here somewhere how I can show you this. Yeah, look at this now, guys. Yeah, look at this. Snapshot restore command. Endpoints are there. Okay, after the endpoints, you can see CA cert. This option is there. Cert is there. Then key is there. Then this name is there. Data directory is there. Initial cluster. Yeah, this information is there. Then initial cluster token is there. And initial advertised peer information is there. That's it. So
Amish, I found this. It is on the kubernetes.io. I'm just pasting it. 1 second, the link.
you got this one. Otherwise, I'm just giving you, in case you forgot this one, you can also use hyphen help option. That will also give this information.
Can you try opening this link? Is this the one, and confirm to us folks as well?
Yeah, sure. 1 second.
But Sonali, I don't think we can open discuss.kubernetes.io.
No,
Discuss
you
is
cannot.
we cannot
Not allowed.
open that site.
Not
Why?
allowed. Not allowed.
Oh, okay.
Exam, we're not allowed to open discuss sites.
Yeah. So this is a tough question, this is the toughest question in the examination, and I'm giving you the solution for this right now. That what you should do. etcd API 3 etcdcl snapshot restore hyphen help. If you use this command, you can get all these options. That's it. And
So
options
does
are
the
here.
sequence matter, Ramesh? Like
No,
if you put a sequence of parameter here and there?
It's okay. You can use keys here and there, no problem. So you can pick up from this one: data dir, initial address peer, initial cluster token, name, CA cert, and key. That's it. And where you will get the values of this one? Values you can get it from the YAML file. No, Prathamesh, Parth, right? Or what is it? Parth, you have to, couple of times you need to do the practice. That is the only option. Okay.
But like if you're going for the restoration part, will the YAML file be there initially, or how is it like?
It will be there. It will be there. Otherwise, it will not work.
It will be there. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So, Ramesh, when we go into the discussion part, you said that it's come out. What do you mean by that?
This one?
No, when we go into the documentation IO, so when we go into the discussion side, so it exit from the
Actually, the examiner, right? He'll pull out the paper. He'll just terminate the session, I think. Again, you need to talk to him and get the things sorted out.
They will disturb you, and you have to convince them that why you are using this site knowingly. But that much time. See, I'll tell you, 2 hours are very less amount of time. You need to do practice, lot of practice. I'll just give the proper detailing guidelines on that day, what exactly need to be done. This is the only way, guys. There is no other option to.
Ramesh, one more thing. So at least like we'll have some setup questions, right? So around 35 or 50. So is there any session that we will do those 50 that which are going to come in exam or anything like that?
That is what on Sunday you can attend my session next Sunday. I'm going to show you that.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. All right. Okay. So this is something about restoration, guys. Backup and restoration.
Total, how many questions will be given in exam? It is like 20 or 35 or
17. I think it is 17, not 16 or 17.
Oh, okay.
Would there be many subparts to it for 16, 17 questions?
Sorry, what you said, Sonali?
Would there be any A, B, C, D subparts or multi questions, multiple choice?
Yeah. There is no multiple choice. There is no multiple choice. It is completely you have to solve all the questions. You have to demonstrate.
Descriptive, that means will be a descriptive test.
Yeah, they have. Matlab, there are certain set of the questions that like they will say that there is a you have to take the backup of the this particular cluster ETCD database and then restore on this cluster. There will be 5 to 6 clusters will be available. So yeah, so that question is I will give the more information in the session, guys. Don't worry about it.
Okay, Ramesh.
But yeah, but I hope that everybody has understood how to take a snapshot and how to restore it.
Yes, Ramesh. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, guys. And the next, oh my God, time is finished. Time is running like anything, guys. Okay. Now the next thing is that I have to show you or explain something about upgradation, right? Upgradation of cluster. Right. So I will take that session, guys, in the next only because it is already the time is elapsed. Is that okay if I take in the next session, guys? Cluster upgradation.
Yeah, just one thing. Can you sum up this backup and restore, like clicking on history and just steps? Can you hash the steps in command line?
Yeah,
Like
okay,
what?
that way. See, first of all, I will tell you. I will do that one also. First step I did is uh, take a backup of ETCD by using a snapshot cell command, right? Second thing, take a backup of all keys. Normally in the examination you don't require, and all the keys are available where? ETC, Kubernetes, PKI. Third thing, once you take a backup of all the keys, then you just fire a okay, so the backup is already taken a backup backup of the keys also you have taken. Then you have to cat etc Kubernetes manifest, and inside manifest there is a etcd file. You have to cat that and take that some amount of the part of the output which I have shown you on the notepad, like this one. This much output. Okay, not entire file. This much output is required. Okay, and then fourth one is build restore command. So okay, so before that one, what you need to do, delete. So in the examination, there won't be any ETCD folder, right? So you don't have to delete it. They have removed it already. So you have to just restore it. So in the normal scenario, you have to check whether it is deleted or not. etc var lib etcd. And fifth one is that build the restore command using help. Make sure that you use a help command, guys, because that is the only way I have seen it works. In the examination, no other way is working. I have checked it, because in the kubernetes.io also we are not getting the full command, but this is worked. So okay, now let me give the history commands, guys, to you. So yeah, a lot of commands are there, right? So do you want me to show that one right now? Because this set of the commands are there in the documentation. If you see here in this documentation, all the set of the commands are given.
Yeah, commands are fine. Yeah,
commands are fine, right? But you need this particular stuff, right? This was important, the flow.
Yeah.
Let me give this to you. Okay, guys, and any other question that comes in your mind before closing the session?
Ramesh, like just before starting of this Kubernetes, like I had asked one question, like if you want to create your own ETCD, how to go about it? So you told that maybe like when we come to the backup part, ETCD, you are going to throw some lights on that.
Creating your own ETCD cluster, right? So basically, I have not thought on this one. Can you just let me just note down this command? Note down this question first of all. So what is the question you are asking?
Like suppose like if you want to create our own ETCD database, like anything, like, how to go about it?
I mean, you will be using ETCD structure, but you want to use some other database.
Yeah.
Like Oracle or
yeah,
MySQL. That is backend you want to test, right?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Let me just think on this one, because I have not thought. I'll just check and I'll come back on this one.
No problem. Just like you reminded to just bring back when you are taking this lecture.
Yeah, sure. Nijo, please help me with this question, because I may forget it. If you don't mind, if you please remind me on this one.
Ramesh, one more thing to remind that we need that document which you created maybe last week. That
right, this one, nah? Yeah, this will be shared. This will be shared with you, and I'm going to discuss more about this in the next session also, guys, because not all the points has been completed. Okay, only sizing, network sizing, and pod sizing we have discussed, but how to go about the structure in the cluster, that I have not discussed. Okay. So today only we were able to complete couple of points, guys. That is, one thing is how to what is HA cluster and all its administrative discussion, and then we have discussed about the upgradation and not upgradation, how to take a backup of the ETCD and how to restore it, right? So in the next section, guys, we have a lot of things to cover, such as taking upgradation and other. I think AKS is also there. We have to EKS and AKS is also there. I have to cover that AKS, and as well as dynamic provisioning. So guys, we'll discuss in the next session, guys. Okay.
Ingress controller, and it comes in the case, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, but actually I was thinking of completing the task of upgradation today. So upgradation is that has got delayed. All right, so I will take it in the next session, guys.
Ramesh, please upload the documents today itself so that in the US daytime we can study today's Sunday for us, and then
Yeah,
weekdays we are kind of.
yeah, sure, no problem. No problem.
So,
I will definitely ask them to upload that one.
so Ramesh, just wanted to ask one question. Means it is a little bit off the topic. If nobody else has any other question, so I was waiting. So when you talk about that sizing, right? When you do a customer, you talk about sizing. Now, okay, now we are, first it was hardware, now VMs, now Docker and containers. Now it's coming like serverless, right? So you only start the instance when you need. Now, when you're doing that kind of sizing, or when you keep that, with the concurrency and the time, maybe the more jobs, run in the morning because, they want to get the data ahead of, when everybody logs in. So how does, serverless is changing that, that kind of, with containers? Now how serverless concept is, changing all that sizing now.
Yeah, basically, whatever solution architect's role is there, that has been taken by the cloud service providers with the help of serverless concept. Okay, so earlier we were using that, we need to do this auto-scaling this way, that way. Now, when we say that serverless, we need to just deploy the code, and if that they have certain, if there is more number of TPSs are there, or if required more number of CPUs and RAM, as per the resource requirement arises, they will add the nodes over there, CPU resources over there. So
Okay.
everything is taken care automatically.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
I
the job of the normal system administrator is now gone back to the
cloud provider.
Right? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I was just, now talking to you, I realized like, how Snowflake run is, just, it's just run by the number of queries you fire and not by the compute. Like they will take care of, they will take care of the compute at the back
Right.
end.
Yes, there are thousands of metrics has been observed for every application, including your network connections, CPU load, disk pressure, memory pressure. Everything is been calculated, and the moment they feel that this is crossing threshold value, they will add one more CPU and RAM. They will add one more VM or whatever it may be.
Okay.
That is,
Thank you.
nothing is serverless. Only thing is that they have automated it.
Yeah, I mean it's basically function as a service now. So kind of, I was just thinking, like when you do this sizing kind of stuff, like, okay, this is a sizing that is coming up. So now, how serverless is forcing you to change that sizing, okay, how do I now change my sizing based on, I want to run more in the morning, more in the evening, and that's it. Yeah. Okay.
I hope that it is clear now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
it is. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, guys. So let's stop here for the day now. And when you come in the next session, we'll have different topics. All right. I hope that you enjoyed today's session.
Thank you, Ramesh.
Thank you.